So Hank is one of our untouchable Mustangs. And I don't mean that literally. If you're really careful, you can dope him on the nose or even pet him a little on the face, but he's one that has opted out of domestic life. And we like to check in every so often and ask again, are you sure you want to opt out? So as you can see, he's a little all over the place, a little bit nervous, a little dysregulated. Hi, buddy. Can you target? And I know there are a lot of people struggling with Mustangs like this who either don't make progress or they'll make progress and then the next day you come out to a completely wild horse again. Horses that just can't seem to get quite comfortable. As you can see, there's a lot of hesitation going on here. Can you target? So he's not using all of his brain right now because what I'm asking is really easy and he's clearly very food motivated. And so what I'm trying to do is something that'll get his engagement level up because right now he's very much hesitant, nervous. You can see he's got the scaredy eye. I know, buddy. Can you target? Good job. And when we get to a point where he's less hesitant and more engaged in the game, he'll start to anticipate and he'll be all over that target and it'll be his favorite thing. But right now he's still target. He's still mostly waiting for me to cue it. So we want some of that anticipation going on. And we want him to really be focused on something that's really conflict-free. So he's really struggled with touch and being in the presence of humans. And so by giving him a target, giving him an inanimate object to touch, it's going to take away some of that conflict so that we can actually build some momentum. Target. And see, he's taking lots of time to chew, even though he could definitely take more treats right now. He's hearing noises, he's taking a lot of information in. Target. Oh, that's very good, but that's not what I'm asking. Good boy. And you'll see some volatility in the amount of engagement with these horses where he went out to reach out to touch me, even though that's way harder than what I'm asking him to do. Because he's becoming a little bit more eager. But what happens is if I do this and I sneeze wrong or move wrong, it's going to set him back. Target. So until I know that he's good with an inanimate object that isn't going to move, I'm not going to ask him to touch me or for me to touch him, which is also a very different scenario. Hi, buddy. I'll let him explore me. I want him to see that that's safe and that no hands will come out to grab him, and that he has some autonomy over his body. Can you target? Good, buddy, but can you target? I could also be hand feeding him right now, but I'm avoiding that because that's, again, a very conflicted behavior for him. Yeah, I know. Hi, look at you. I'm proud of you. See? You see how volatile he is? He's like, I want to touch her, but I'm a little nervous, and shake it off. There's a lot of nervous system roller coaster going on right now. Can you target? So people think this is good, and then they move on to the next thing, but he is so not ready for any of that. So until he's calmly and quietly standing here and touching the target and offering the behavior, maybe even before I cue, that level of engagement, without any conflict, I'm going to stay right here until it's a complete no-brainer. Oh, buddy. You're a good boy. Nice big sigh. Can I get a sigh from you? You're a little tense. Ah, I know. You're a good boy. Can you target? And he does want a hand feed right now. And I'm going to show you exactly why I'm not hand feeding him. Oh, good boy. I didn't cue it that time, but he was excited. Ready? That's what we call the Hank yank. So in a previous home, Hank was hand fed and then pet at the same time. And it took away his autonomy and freedom around having a choice. So we're going to give that back to him. And when I start hand feeding him again, I want him to know full confidence that I'm not going to try to grab him or touch him or pet him. You target? Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Can you target? Ooh, we had a little paw there. Most people are going to hate this. I like that he gets a little frustrated because that's the engagement level on that roller coaster coming up a little too high, and then the pendulum's going to swing and we'll balance it back out. Can you target? It also could have been a fly. So to summarize, we're focusing on conflict-free behavior. And we're going to build some trust here. And that I'm always going to do a really good job explaining what I'm going to ask. Target? Asking him to do it or giving him a choice. And then rewarding. I'm not going to mix the rewards with the scary things. It's got to be very discreet with a horse like him. Target. See how that engagement level went up and he was excited and he was thinking about it and he pawed, and then it went back down and he just kind of froze up above the target, even though the target is such a simple thing for him to do right now. And that's how we know we're not ready to move forward, and we might stay at this level for, weeks if we have to. If we have to. Target. So what you're seeing there is mental bargaining, and you can really see the wheels turning when he is thinking about it, and he's turning away, and then the ears are going, and then he's, good boy, looking at that target. And this phase is I want this to be no mental bargaining phase where it's just a no-brainer. And that gets their mind into a state where they can actually retain their training. So a lot of horses like this, people will push them too hard and just be so focused on haltering or touching that they never get into an ideal state of learning because their nervous system is just too much in flux. So up and down, and there's a lot of stuff going around, and he's, there's some trigger stacking. We got to get him to that. This is easy. This is a no-brainer. I don't have to think about the risks versus the benefits. I'm just touching this little yellow thing and getting cookies. Yep. So there are a couple bugs out here, but that touching of the leg can be a latency behavior. Hi, buddy. Yeah, there we go. Now we're getting some momentum. He's so used to training sessions being too much that he thinks this is too good to be true of like, oh, all I have to do is touch the yellow thing and get cookies. That there must be more to it, that he's suspicious. And now he's learning, maybe it really is that simple. And sometimes horses do want to push themselves outside the comfort zone, and that's why he was trying to hand feed earlier. But I know that's going to take him out of that ideal learning state and add some more adrenaline into the equation that isn't going to help him progress. So this is one of those slow is fast sort of scenarios. And you can really see from the beginning of this session how much the conflict just faded away. His eyes have softened. There's less time between behaviors. There's less time in that like hang zone between parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system activation. And if you have a horse like this and you're really struggling, I want you to do this for hours until they see the yellow thing come out and they light up and sigh a big sigh of relief, because they know what's expected of them, and it's just so stinking easy. And you're not going to try to sneak in any pets or push them out of their comfort zone, because this type of horse needs to be in their comfort zone in order to learn and retain information. And they also need to be taught autonomy and how they can communicate their discomfort to us without activating their nervous system flight response. So what that's going to look like is using start buttons or stop buttons so that he can tell us before he goes into flight mode that it's too much for him. I'd love a nice big sigh right about now. That would be good. And it's so hard to combat that greedy trainer syndrome of like, well, he's doing so well, I should ask for something a bit harder. No, not with a horse like this. With the Untouchable Mustangs, you need really solid foundation of seemingly useless tasks. And I say seemingly useless because you'll see that we'll use this target in a million ways. But to the untrained eye, this exercise might seem really strange.